Mic check, mic check, mic check. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Kachoya! Previously on Kimba TV. But do you, like everything kind of falls in place. The reason why we head short is because we don't want to shave the long. You know, make sure you put your stop loss at break even. You shouldn't be losing any money on shorts. We had every single level identified, our entries, our stop loss, the rocket launch platform. How we doing? How we doing? Good morning, chat. WizTar says, looks like a high sweep in the making later. Do you understand that right now the probability is to do something more like this? So yeah, this is what you would want is for this to be saved for later. And what you would actually want is to kind of basically fuck around in here. Chat, tell me if this guy is Kimba Gang or not. Hey, dumbass, why don't you watch the stream, bro? Pfft, he missed the 15-second alpha TA, chat. Marx is funny, we can laugh, but before I would have had no idea. Yeah, I mean, the math is the math. It's really not that hard. I mean, how many of you guys were here for the 15-second alpha TA? So it's not going to like be pixel perfect, but you know, like dink, 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 dink. Structure is always the same, right? What do you guys think about the 1.25 and the pixel perfect 6.6? Easy money, Bugatti money. So yeah, nothing really changes for me. I mean, we're waiting for here, right? Let's see what happens. Does he have to get liquidated? No, he doesn't have to get liquidated. But that's a pretty high risk trade right there. It's a really high risk trade. Yeah, he could still get away with it, but that's a really high risk trade. 0.1% chance rate cuts. Shout outs to you. Don't fall. Retail Degen says, speak for yourself. I panicked and took profit because I was unsure if you were screaming and yelling because of your short or long juicing. Well, you got to get caught up. So literally, Degen, you did what we say don't do. Number one, make sure you're prepared and caught up. My long from 100,700 is always going to be juicing. Alrighty. But if you rewind and go back, I specifically say I'm never going to long up here. And you should know what level I'm waiting for. Make sure you get caught up. We don't get got on 5-minute candle closes. We wait for 30-minute candle closes. So this is called patience. Nothing has changed. Yeah, I'm waiting to see if we get a candle close with a lower low. This is a bearish retest. I don't know how many times you've seen something like this. I've seen this gazillion times. And so when this happens, I just do this. Yeah, I'm never going to be bullish until we get above VWAP. But all of these things were talked about. I told you exactly how I would chase a long if I wanted a long here. I have a long from 100,700. So the only place that I would even think about scalp longing is at the VWAP down there. But yeah, if literally retail degen, you did what you did. You just panicked, right? Because you were unsure, because you weren't prepared. I literally said everything that I would do. So when you show up late, rewind and get caught up. Okay? But start writing things down like, you know, wait for 30-minute candle closes. You know, I'm never going to be bullish until we get above VWAP. I don't know how many times you have to see that or like hear me say it to believe it, but I've never ever been like, "Oh, you know, let's get bullish because we're below VWAP." I've never said that ever. So, yeah, but that being said, brother, I've already these are 30-minute candle closes. We were already anticipating this. Yeah, and the first level that I'm waiting for to long is right here. And then if that one doesn't work and the data doesn't look good, then I'll see you around 105. Okay? But make sure you're prepared. Okay? If you're taking a trade and you panicked and closed because I was yelling, that tells me that your preparation and planning was ass. You should already have your stop loss and profit, your invalidations, your TP. Okay? It's still hard. It's still not conclusive on whether the settlement and value area high is going to hold. I mean, we're probably going to get a bullish retest or a front run here shortly. So we'll know in a little bit. But yeah, as of right now, they cleaned and swept the bad low. So you have an argument for a long to work, but whether the short is going to work or the long is going to work, you have to change structure. So either the bears are going to make a lower low or the bulls are going to make a higher high. And to get that higher high, you're going to turn the VWAP into support. That's how I would determine if it's bullish or bearish. But that's what I've been doing the last 3 years too. So yeah. So you okay? You okay, my guy? Are you caught up? I want you to be prepared. I don't want you to get got because I'm, lettucing up and yelling and screaming. Okay, so if you're somebody that thinks the settlement and value area high is going to be like good support or that's bullish, then you either market smashed or you're waiting for the bullish retest. The stop loss on the scalp long would be the lower low because you're basically playing a failed auction or a swing fail, excuse me. Entry, stop loss, and now you've already changed structure. So your stop loss is break even or tiny profit. You can't lose. And then you can't lose the golden pocket, ideally. So you're going to do something like this. So if your entry is right here, your stop loss was right here. Now that you have changed structure, this is okay. Even think is okay. But doom is not good. So, that, I don't know where your entry is right now, but this can be moved up. And then you have to start thinking about how would you re-enter if you get stopped out. But yeah, no long for me yet. I'm not surprised that it bounced off of the 1.1, but I'd rather wait for VWAP. Hey, Kimber Gang, how we doing? Happy Tuesday. Super excited for Wednesday tomorrow. CPI. How many of you guys are going to be here bright and early? You guys like the weekend streams? You guys like the pre-market alpha? The juice is the juice and the mathematica is the mathematicas. Peter Wiztard. Hey, CPI Wednesday tomorrow. It's starting to look really, really juicy. I'm starting to formulate some hypotheses already for what I would do on initial move as a debate at the Liquidation dealership would be fucking awesome. I'm about to Nick Cage that shit. Hey, how many of y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about? If I say I'm about to Nick Cage that dealership, chat. Hey, these young bloods don't know, Mandalo. These young bloods don't know nothing, Mandalo. These motherfucking young bloods that have no idea. I'm about to Nick Cage that boy. Man, quit playing with me. Hey, how many of y'all want to Nick Cage that shit? Hey, just a quick little poo-poo. Just in and out. Hey, filled in 60 seconds. Boy, that's not the thumbnail for tomorrow. Is that the thumbnail for tomorrow? Filled in 60 seconds. Pause. Wait. You're ready? Awesome. So first things first, let's see if we can get a 30-minute candle close, whether it's a higher high or a lower low. right? Obviously, on the higher high, you're going to be able to anticipate the VWAP being a bullish retest before it makes a higher high if you want to, think about chasing the long. But if we don't, move back up and you're not forced to chase it, then 107, the VWAP that I pointed out right below the value area low, is an interesting level. And then fucking 106, right? Or the Bugatti dealership, basically. I would love Bugatti dealership debate tomorrow. Yeah. Well, let's see. And did you see when I pulled the anchor VWAP? And it's at fucking 92, bro. Yeah. In a fucked up way, JV, the fact that I have pixel perfect low long kind of means I'm going to get round tripped.
Pixel fucking it is. Yes.
Pixel fucking.
So don't don't put 98, 97 out of the realm. Okay? Obviously, we've got like 6 fucking support levels before we go down that way, JV. And you know what JV, if 100 breaks, dude, you should just go low leverage and just fucking put limits from 95 to 100 and call it a day, dude. If you do some high leverage shit and you try to catch the knife, I think it's gonna be ugly again. You want me to take one of my accounts and just do like a low leverage net from 95 to 100 with you, my boy? So you can do it without feeling so scarred. You guys, how you guys doing? Happy Tuesday! All right, as with every hour that we close and process together, we can start breaking down what we can expect for tomorrow. So, pretty exciting. Let's keep an eye on this, right? Keep an eye on that. Our power hour would be great. Yeah. Now you got some funky highs and some funky lows. And at this point, you can kind of, go with structure change. I would probably consider everything in the first 20 to 30 minutes of power hour to be trustable. The last back half 30 minute, I probably wouldn't. So any sort of higher high or lower low it's going to make, I would prefer that it did it, before the last 20 minutes. Same thing goes for S&P. We can't lose. Lions. 51 minutes. I actually have to hold on a second. I actually have to leave in about 20, 25 minutes. He reaving. But Houston and Cage gonna take over. I'll probably pop my head in a little bit later tonight. But I think I'm gonna try to wake up hella early tomorrow. So shout outs to the European Lions, but I'm gonna try to be here hella early. We'll take a look at where RTH and ETH gaps differ, and we'll go from there. Shout outs to everybody that was there for the 108, 376, and 87 cents. Pixel perfect blue line. Give it up. Math is the math, and juice is the juice. Kimba, do you still think 107 is possible? Sure. Yeah, it has to get above 110 or whatever that high is. It just has to change structure. Yeah, but don't get got if it's just going to make, lower lows and lower highs. Yeah, but if you were here earlier, I don't know if you took that long. I don't know if you took that long, or I don't know if you took something like this long. But doink, 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 doink. Yeah, failed auction inside of a failed auction on your bitch ass. Yeah. But yeah, math is still the same. So just like how we did this one and we wanted a lower, we would want something like a whatever that local high becomes. I'm sure this is some fib. There you go. It's pixel perfect 7.5. So yeah, I mean 7505 kind of lines up on a bullish retest. But if you see like good edge, take it. You know, there's so many scalp long and scalp shorts you could get into, and one of them, you know, could end up juicing. So if you feel like it, take it. Yeah, I mean, it bounced off of the level where we said if it's underneath it, it's bearish. If you remember, short. Yeah, this was the failed auction level, if you remember. That looks good for a failed auction. VWAP held. Look at the structure. I don't know. What did happen? Looks normal. I would assume you weren't caught up on these levels, brother. These have been here for quite some time, so if you want to rewind and get caught up. Yeah. Don't forget about the my Kimba lows down there. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just mathing, to be honest. Ladies and gentlemen, another clinic. Shout outs to everybody that was here for this. Shout outs to everybody that was here for this. Shout outs to everybody that was here for this. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's choose, let's go. Quit playing with me, chat. Easy money juice.
We hope you've had a great day.
Let's go, chat.
With Kimber Gang, we've paved the way.
Juicy fruit, ho.
Prepared and steady,
Juice.
we rise above.
Math.
With math and read, be here with you.
Okay, Lions, do not get lost in the volatility. You guys are the best. Remember, just within a couple of weeks, within a blink of an eye, we were at 112 and all of a sudden we were at 100K. This shit always gives you a chance to juice the fuck up. All right? So regardless of how your last couple weeks or last couple months have been, even last couple years have been going, tomorrow's a new day. We got CPI Wednesday tomorrow. Let's get after it, ladies and gentlemen. All right? There's always going to be a scalp short, scalp long. As long as you have edge, I'm always going to root for you. Let's get it, man. I'll be here hella early tomorrow. So we should have at least 30, 40 minutes to kind of go over what happens overnight. But honestly, there's only 3 scenarios. One is it makes a higher high, right? So it cleans the Coinbase quit playing with me levels, right? Or it leaves the highs like that, in which case you're going to have a lower high, and there may be a potential for a failed auction of the sub-range point of control, right? And if it makes a lower low, then we already have levels down there anyways, you know? Especially for the people that maybe close their longs too early or have been trying to get chased, but every fucking level that you're waiting for just seems to jump out of your grasp. Oh, fuck! You just needed $100 more. You just needed $200 more. You just needed $300 more. I want you to think about what it's doing, because I've been in your shoes, and that's basically the sign of a bull run. And luckily, I know that Sol kind of went nasty, but that's nothing. Sol should be going to 500, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, remember all of this shit that's happening for Bitcoin, so you can translate this and you can remember it next time when it's altcoin season, if it ever comes. You know, rate cuts, no rate cuts, but still balling. All right, so stay safe. Lock in, Lions. All right. Lots of levels, easy levels to the upside and downside. Make sure you have bad highs, bad lows identified. Let's get after it tomorrow. I'm excited. I'll be here at least 30, 40 minutes before CPI drops. So we'll go over what happened overnight. And we'll probably you know, play the gap or anticipate the gap to help us out, whichever way it goes. And I'll be waiting for an initial move as a debate. That's why, like, leaving the high like that would be so fucking hilarious. All right. And if that low gets clean tomorrow, that's an easy long as well at around like the 10, well, whatever that low is, you know? So, Blink John, have a great day. Arrow, have a great day. There's like a 50-50 chance I'll poke my head in later on, but more than anything, my biggest thing is to go to sleep early so I can wake up I mean, it would be sick as fuck if I woke up at like 3:34, 4:30, right? There's a chance I might show up at like 4:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, you know? So, all right. Give it up for Houston and Cage. I'm out of here. He reaving Young Soon. Love you guys. Lions, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. 3, 2, can I get a cut?